Good morning, guys. Today we're going to talk about what I look in a pigeon for myself. Like if I like a pigeon to have this as a breeder or this as a flyer. Well, today we're going to talk about it, a bird for me as a breeder. So I got a pigeon here, and I really like this bird. It's a 2022 pigeon, blue bar white flight cock. He's feeding youngsters. Okay, let's talk about the wing. When I look in a pigeon, when I look at a wing, you see the underneath how it has that, like that curb. I look for that. Yeah. Vibration. Okay. I like the feathers of the wing to be long, not short, not skinny, long and wider and round tipped if I could. So you got the round, you got the long, and you got the thickness. Can't really tell from there, but there you go. Just like that. This is what I like for a pigeon to have. Short wings, I'm pretty sure I do have it if I go through all my birds. Is it bad? I don't know. It's just not my preference, okay? When I go to, Frank McLaughlin's and Kenny White and all these big time flyers out here in New England, I don't personally tell them what I'm looking for. I just ask them, can I hold some of your better birds? And they give me their better birds, and I look at all this stuff, the markings, dark markings on the tail. See, it's almost complete. I like that to be, this part to be as dark as it could. The bars to be as dark and complete as it could. Doesn't matter what color the bird. My white pigeons, you get their, you pick up the bird and you look at their wing. It's long, and that's how I like them. I like longer flights. Nice and pink. I like it to be, let's see here, one finger from the vent to the keel to the vent. Okay, mostly one finger, a finger and a little bit more, never two. I like the vent to be slightly closed. It can be a little open, no big deal, but a gap and hanging down, never, ever. Closed as tight as it can be, or if it's just a little bit open, that's fine for me. But if you can put a whole finger in there, no, not for me. And if it hangs down, definitely not for me. Like if you put your hand and it comes through, and this part here, you feel it and it comes down. If you put in your finger and the vent that's here brings it down and then it continues, not good at all. Well, at least for me. I don't know if anybody out there has any success with birds with big open vents that hangs down. If you do, comment down below and let me know how it was. The bird's head, something similar to this. You got, rounder heads, but this is an ideal pigeon for me, as I like to be for breeders. And another thing I look for is white toenails. All white. That's a plus. Why? Believe me, I have no idea. But a lot of fancier, old-time fanciers told me once, if you're in a coop and you like two pigeons and both of those birds are identical, same color eye, you like the wing, you like the body type, everything, but one pigeon has whiter toenails than the other, pick the bird with the white toenails. And I'm telling you, this came from top of the line guys. I can ask them when I go to their places. I pick up a bird that has white toenails and I'll ask them and I'll see why the reason is, what's for. But I'm just going, in that aspect, I'm going what those guys have said. Because there's 40 years in the game, 30 years in the game, 50 years in the game. Frank McLaughlin, he said it to me as well, If your birds are identical, pick the one with the white toenails. I never asked why, I just said okay. But other than the white toenails, his is all white, one pintail, long flights, wide, long, dark markings, really dark markings. The darker the markings, the better. Not to say that a dark checker pigeon is better than a light check pigeon. No, I'm not saying that. I just look for, and these lighter birds, blue bars, light checks, even a dark checker bird, it's hard to tell on the tail. I got some dark checkers here, and I will do a video on them as well. But on these lighter birds, you can tell right from the get-go, even when they're born, you can tell if it's a birth defect. And if it doesn't have the dark markings, for me, I have one that I found. It's still over there, hasn't gone out yet, and I'm gonna keep an eye on it. And I will keep you guys posted on that one. But it's gonna be an experiment for me. I never had a bird like that before with light markings like that, like he did. It was like faded. But we're gonna keep it interesting with that one. I like a bird to have balance. Okay. When you pick up a bird, everything just flows nicely, The throat, I do look at the throat for high points. I do. I seem to find the better breeders, the better birds, because I mark everything down on the book. Who's the mother, the father, what round it was, the date it was born. Everything that I do with the pigeon, I mark it down. Everything. The date that I started training, the day I let the first birds out, what happened at that first time. Did they get hit by the hawk? Did the birds, started to fly? Just the first stuff that I do with the birds is the beginning. So I do that. And I come back at the end of the season and I pick out like 5 to 10 birds that did better than the others. And I look in the book and I go through the mother and the father. And I see who the mother and the father is, their background. And I look at their throat and see who's has the higher points. And A lot of people do it. I like to do it. On the eye, you really can't see on the eye with this, probably with this camera. But you see that yellow that goes around? Sometimes it's yellow, sometimes it's a darker color. That has to be completed circle. It has to be for my breeders. I'm not saying that I have every single breeder like that in my coop has it. I'm pretty sure they don't. But my preference, if one has it and the other one don't, I put that together. I don't, if I have the option to put both like that together, I will. But if my pairs mostly don't have them, I put the ones that yes and no, yes and no. And then I can put a double yes together, both has it. I like to sex pigeons, pair pigeons should I say, with a different color eye. I had before put same color eye pigeons together. They're done very well. Okay, I just try to do the opposite. If a bird has very tight vents and the hen has a little bit open gap, I pair them. You know, it all plays a part in the eye and the vent and how long the wing is. I look at all these stuff and I'll write it down and I say, this one can be with this one, let's try it out. And I like to do one of my coops, I like to put 5 hens and 5 cocks and just let them pick what they like. I like to do that as well. In the back section, that's what I do. In these sections, I pick out the pairs and I see how it plays out. But guys, that's what I look for in a bird that's good for me for breeding. You know, that's my preference. I prefer not, you know, I like the bird to have that wide, long wing. I don't like that skinny, pointy stuff. I'm not saying that those birds are not good, that those birds won't produce anything. It's just my preference. There's 100 ways to roam and believe me, to build, and you will get there in every single way. It might be easier than others, but so this is an ideal pigeon for me for breeding. This is a Kenny White bird. And another thing I look for, you see how he's looking? He's curious, he's looking around. That's what I look. I look birds. Birds are just sitting there, not doing anything. I don't know. I like a bird that when you have it in your hands, he's looking. He's aware of his surroundings. You know, that's what I like. But again, guys, on the feet, white toenails. I'm not saying that the black ones, black toenails or half white, half black toenails are better than the others. I'm just saying what was said to me from top of the line flyers. And if they're having success with that stuff, I'm pretty sure we're gonna have success by following in their footsteps and just tweaking our system a little bit different. What suits me. I do a system what suits me. I have to work in the morning, I have to have a family, I have this, I have that. So I gotta build my system on what I can do, you know. And I know I said this to myself and to many people, how can you compete against a guy that when he wakes up, the first thing he does is to the pigeon coop, and the last thing he does is at the pigeon coop? When I'm at the pigeon coop now, because I wake up a little bit earlier than usual, because I don't need to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I do every single day. I can wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, get ready, and go straight to work, like a lot of people do. But I like to come here, I like to check on the birds, I like the birds, it's that simple. So, but it's hard for me to compete against a guy when I'm working, he's training. It's difficult. It's very difficult. Even if you have good birds, fantastic family of birds, like I come home, I can only train Saturday and Sunday in the line of flight, because if I train every day, it's gonna be going towards Boston. That's where I work, center of downtown Boston, the center of Boston, and that's not the line of flight. My birds are gonna go where Frank McLaughlin lives, where Capellini lives, that side of Boston, and I'm over here in the northern part. It's not gonna play well for me. I gotta go towards up Springfield, Massachusetts, up that way, up the pike, not back. But people have told me that they had good years training pigeons the opposite way. And, this year I'm going to do it. I'm going to have to do it, just to get my birds, just to keep time on that wing. But that's going to be at the end of the season, like after the 200-mile race comes, or the second 150 comes. That way my birds are already experienced in flying, and they're just having the time on the wing for exercise. But I can only train Saturday and Sunday. That's it. I don't have no other time more to train a pigeon. Saturday and Sunday. No exceptions. That's it. Or I can train the birds in the afternoon. I've done it before. And then I take the birds in the afternoon, their whole time training, and here we go. And then I put my birds with like 2 other people, and they release them in the morning. My birds were lost, They were coming in, one here, one there, one here, one there. It was like hectic. It's just different stuff. It's crazy. I don't even know how to say it. But back to this, what I looking for a breeder. This is the bird. This is, see the dark markings on the bars. Nice head. You see? Bird is just perfect all the way around. Perfect. Well, guys, thank you. The ones that subscribe, thank you very much. The new ones, the day ones, appreciate every one of yous. The videos will keep coming. And hit the notification, thumbs up. I'll appreciate. Comment down below what you guys look in a pigeon for as a breeder. If it's similar to mine's, or do you guys look at other stuff? Like I said, there's 100 ways to flying a pigeon, to picking a pigeon, and I'm pretty sure they all work. I'm not saying that I'm right, that I'm 100% right, and whoever does opposite is wrong. Far from it. Like I said, there's 100 ways, and every single way will work. So I'll see you guys on the next one. And this is G's Loft, and thank you.